when green turned to dust. When mercy is ignored, even the wind becomes a warning. The land of Egypt was wounded. The storm of fire and ice had passed, but its scars still glowed across the fields. Charred trees leaned like broken soldiers, and the Nile reflected a sky too quiet for comfort. But inside Pharaoh's palace, pride still ruled. Servants swept the marble floors, pretending not to see the cracks in the walls. And Pharaoh, sitting high on his throne, convinced himself that he was still in control. The people whispered, "If fire could fall from the sky, what could come next?" And far from the palace, in the quiet tents of Goshen, Moses prayed. The Lord spoke to Moses again. "Go to Pharaoh," God said, "for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his servants, that I may show my signs before them, and that you may tell your children and grandchildren what I did in Egypt, that they may know I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went once more to Pharaoh's hall. The golden doors opened, and the same familiar chill of defiance met them. Pharaoh looked down, weary yet unyielding. Moses lifted his staff and said, "Thus says the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, how long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. If you refuse, I will bring locusts into your country tomorrow. They will cover the ground so that no one will be able to see it. They will eat what little remains after the hail, every green leaf, every tree, every hope of harvest." Pharaoh said nothing, but the silence was heavy enough to crack marble. Pharaoh's counselors exchanged frightened looks. One of them, an elder man with trembling hands, dared to speak. "O king, do you not yet see? Egypt is destroyed. Let the men go to serve their God. Must the whole land perish because of pride?" The words hung in the air like forbidden wind. Pharaoh hesitated, a rare pause from a man used to being obeyed. He called Moses and Aaron back. "Go then," he said slowly, "but tell me, who will go?" Moses answered with steady courage, "We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and herds, for we must hold a feast to the Lord." Pharaoh's eyes hardened again. He shouted, "Never! Only the men may go. That is my command." He gestured angrily, and the guards forced Moses and Aaron out of the hall. The sound of the heavy doors closing echoed like thunder. That night, Egypt did not sleep. The air changed. A dry wind rose from the horizon, low and humming, carrying whispers like voices on the edge of a storm. Palm trees swayed, curtains lifted without touch. The air grew thick, tasting of dust and distance. Shepherds in the fields covered their faces. Farmers ran to the Nile, watching ripples form where no oar touched. The wind grew stronger. It howled through the city gates and moaned in the palace corridors. By dawn, The sky turned strange, copper and red, like a furnace lit behind a curtain. And from that horizon came movement. At first, it looked like smoke, then a cloud of beating wings. Millions upon millions of locusts darkened the sun as they descended like a storm alive. By midday, Egypt was unrecognizable. The locusts devoured everything in their path: stalks, vines, fruit, even the bark of trees. They covered roofs, fields, and streets, crawling over statues and soldiers alike. Children cried, markets shut down. The sound of wings filled the air like endless rain. In Goshen, where the Israelites lived, the wind was calm. No locusts crossed the border. There, families looked to the sky and whispered thanks to God. But in the heart of Egypt, Pharaoh stood at his balcony, watching the ruin unfold. Below, his gardens, once filled with lilies and palms, were gone. The land that once fed nations was now dust. Pharaoh's pride finally cracked. He sent messengers running to find Moses and Aaron. When they arrived, he said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now forgive my sin once more and pray to the Lord your God to take this death away from me." Moses said nothing. He turned and left the palace, stepping over locusts that shifted like living carpets. Outside the city, Moses lifted his staff toward heaven. The air shifted again. The east wind stopped. Then a great west wind rose from the sea, fierce and strong. It swept the locusts away, driving them into the Red Sea until not one was left in all Egypt. The skies cleared. The sun returned. And for a moment, the land was silent again. But silence in Egypt was only the breath before another storm. Pharaoh watched from his throne, his face hidden in shadow. The locusts were gone, but so was his fear. He clenched his fists. He told himself he had survived again. He told himself he didn't need this god of slaves. And so his heart turned cold once more. The palace fell quiet. No one dared to speak. The servants had seen what happened every time Pharaoh lied to Moses, but they could not stop him. His pride had become his chains. When the locusts were gone, the land was bare. But in that emptiness, a truth still echoed. Everything Pharaoh trusted had failed him. His river, his magicians, his power, even his gods. Each plague had struck at what Egypt worshipped. And still, God's mercy came first, always with a warning, always with a chance to turn back. The locusts were not only judgment, they were mercy that Pharaoh refused to see. They were the voice of God carried on the wind, saying, "Turn before it is too late." Sometimes we learn best not when everything is full, but when everything is gone. When what we built turns to dust, and all that's left is the voice of God, gentle, constant, patient. That voice still calls today, because even in judgment there is love, and even in ruin there is room for redemption. Next time on Tiny Bible Tales, the ninth plague, when even the sun bowed before the Lord and light itself chose sides.